Hi, hello everyone. Hi, buddy. Hi, Aggie. Happy to see you here. Well, good timing. Oh, thank you, Ayasa. I love you so much. I really do. You're the love of my life. Everyone, uh, remember I've been incredibly sleepy for like a month already. Hi, Frogyator. Well, today we add to that a headache. Been battling this for the whole day, so maybe it will be on the shorter end of the streams. We'll see. I always say that, but then I get lost in the sauce. So anyway, hope you are all doing alright. World is as chaotic as ever. Just keep on trucking, everyone. I am supporting you. Oh, thank you, buddy. Okay. So yeah, not a lot more to do. Like, let's just go straight to the art scene.
Yo molegato, drink some water.
You got it. Drinking some water. Alright. And now I have these over here so I don't miss anything. There we go. So we are going to continue working on this commission, and today we'll be working on the topology for the clothes. The clothes are fairly detailed, so this can take a while. We'll see. Let me see. Got the reference in here, and I think we should start by making the coat. We got a big coat on top of the body. So what I will do is get the torso, duplicate it, and separate it. Okay, so we got like a different mesh in here, so we can work with this one. No, where it is going. Let me see. It is fairly open, which is the tricky part. So we'll be just making the shapes, changing them also slightly. And this part will actually merge, so we don't need to move it right now. This over here. Hi Dave, happy to see ya. How are you doing today? Now checking the reference, we don't need to worry about the shoulders. But over here is when it separates from the torso. So I will start doing this. Let me see. But not really. I want to actually add like a cut over here. There we go. So we can do something like this. Cool shapes all around. Over here though, I think I will go to the torso and add a subdivision. More or less over here. There we go. Because now here I can like get rid of a lot of things. Like I don't need any of these. I won't need this face either. Let me check the color. I think I know how I will work on the color. We already got this, so we don't need actually any of this. Alright. I think I don't need this either. I can just merge it over here. Or just over here. I don't know. Hey, I'm getting cooked. What is this about? Interface my controller. I hope it goes well. I always prefer repairing controllers over buying new ones when possible. Yeah, so I get this shape. This is good for the jacket. We just need to like tweak the shapes a little bit. We will now merge this again. And we want the normals to flow well with things, so we will be a little bit cheeky with how things connect. Alright, maybe for bed, good for 11. Okay, buddy, have a fantastic afternoon, okay? Have a great day. Okay, so we got this host thing. And of course this is like a different shape that I can move back. So we want to add a few cuts in here. This and this and this and this. Let me see. Yeah. So now I will work on this, and this will be the other border of the jacket. Alright, so what I will do is get out of these borders that we made, and I will let me see over here. I will split faces by edges. There we go. So now like all of this is a mesh and this is another. And we do this because now I hide all of these, I select all of these, and I merge my distance. There we go. So now I can, like, this is under the jacket, and this is over the jacket. There we go. Hi 12-1, thank you. We don't need this edge. We need to change a few shapes though. Like this being a little bit rounder over there. Hi Suna, thank you. Alright, so we got the jacket, we got the other parts. And we can even now get a better seam over here. There we go. I'm thinking I will move this a little bit over here. Make the waist a little bit slimmer. There we go. And since we did this by duplicating the already existing geometry, which is already rigged by the way, that means that the jacket should work normally and not clip the rest of the body. Now we need to actually add a few more details to this jacket. And we need to actually he will never know, but I think he will probably imagine something like that is going on. He will probably expect it. There we go, so we got this shape. We will make it sharp. And now we need to actually work on the collar too. And the collar is very puffy, so we will try our best. Okay, so we got one color over here. And we can like make it way bigger. Alright, and let's get this shape as close as we can to the reference. There we go. Hi Bird! Happy to see ya. What's it high? No, guaranteed ibuprofen hat day. Yeah, it is an ibuprofen kind of day today. No, I think we want a cat in here to move this over here, and so we can make this even bigger. There we go. Alright, we got one of those down. There we go. I'm so sorry to hear that there. I hope it's not too bad. And with an ibuprofen, it is good enough to be able to go on with your day. Doing all the cool shit. Alright, now this also goes as low as this point. But I need to actually get the jacket.
Intercepted a transmission from TGC_Dave that says this. I've been meaning to do some bird spotting. So I went to the store to buy camo clothes. But I couldn't find any.
I always love that kind of joke. There we go, we got this shape too. Alright. Maybe we can just... Nah, I don't like this. Alright, we got the jacket, at least the torso part. We still need to add a few other things, because we got a scarf and we also got the sleeves that are slightly puffy. Let me check. Yeah. So we got a cat in here, and this cat goes a little bit higher than this, but actually it's just this.
Got a message from our pal TGC_Dave. They say the following. If Renata's parents leave their froggy car in the wrong spot, does it get towed away?
That's a good one. So we got this. Now, next thing we need to work on is probably the scarf. I think the scarf is going to be a tricky one. So let me see. I think I will select the whole neck. That wasn't the whole neck. That was only half of it. Alright, and we will get this as the center. Okay, so now we got like some mesh to start working on with as a scarf. And we kinda wanted to cover a few parts of the chest. You know what, let's fix this weird topology that we got in here, because in the neck we have to worry about it merging with the rest of the body, but the scarf doesn't have this restriction, so we could have better topology. There we go. Alright, working with the scarf. Alright, getting the frontal part ready. The back is going to be a little bit trickier, but we'll make it work. Alright. And the thing is, it's growing over all of this hair, so we need to make sure it doesn't clip it. Alright. We got the main thing with the scarf. Now there is some asymmetrical things in here, and the way I'm choosing to implement those is okay. I will indicate this. have it over here. And I will just make it go from outside. Alright, and it's a little bit hard to see, so let me check some rendering options in here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we get to see the shapes a little bit better now. Alright, there we go. I totally get that. So sleepy lately, I don't even know why. I mean, I know that there's the allergy medication, but that cannot be it. Because this started a little bit after that. I think it's maybe the temperatures or something. Like this time of the year, is that a thing? It's like getting so sleepy on spring, is that a thing? Change of seasons, yeah, like I was thinking that. Oh, is it the kind of thing that doesn't apply to you when you are 20 years old? Suddenly one day, at 30 something, you start to feel it? It's one of those. Oh man, there's no turning back from it then. This is my new reality every year. Alright, so next thing in this model is like we got the pants, and the pants mostly we can just paint them, the transition from the shirt to them, but we also have a belt. In fact, we got both. We got two belts in here, and one of them, no problem, is the kind that we can just make by duplicating this. But the other is in diagonal and it's going to be a little bit trickier. We'll see. Okay, so I will duplicate this. With the cursor I make it bigger. And then I get this whole loop. And with individual origins I make it thinner. There we go. Maybe not that much. And I can just do this, so it's a little bit lower. There we go, something like this. We got one part of the belt. My new part-time job gave me a physical object and this year really position. Hey, that's cool. So, like, it's one of those things in which I should actually be a little bit more physically active, right? I will actually try to do something about that. It's just so hard because everything's happening all the time. I don't know if I explain myself eloquently enough. Like, seriously, everything is happening all the time, and I'm always worrying about one thing or another. And there's like no time to just like do whatever I want with it. I mean, no time like, oh, I will just do this today. It's impossible. No time for improvisation. Everything's planned for a while in advance. Yeah, finding time for it is the biggest problem. It is. I remember when I was a kid, I was one of those kids that act as if they were Billy Goats. You know, I was climbing everything, I was jumping off everything. And when I was a teenager, like, you know, I wasn't into sports, but I was pretty active. I always was goofing around. But nowadays, this is not freedom, it's the thing. Yeah, I totally get it. It is so hard though, because on one hand, it's easy to forget that resting is important. Yeah, I acknowledge that. But on the other hand, we don't rest not because we don't want to. It's because we are forced to do stuff. So it's not like, oh, you need to rest more. And it's like, I know, I just can't. It happens. Because they tell you have to rest, but then they ask you to get some results. If you know what I mean. And the only way to get those results is to work all the time. Okay, so we got this copy of the belt, and this copy of the belt is a mirrored, and we are going to just separate a little bit. Whoops. There we go. And this belt is supposed to be under... No, it's over the other, okay. But not as much, so we will tweak it a little bit. There we go. Same with this one. This one actually needs to be over here. But man, it's just like the rules of this world. They are so broken. I recently learned that the reason we actually believe in 8 hours of sleep is because back when the Industrial Revolution began, Like that was the first time that actual strict time schedules for work and sleep were necessary. Like before that, people just worked whenever. You just needed to meet the quota at the end of the month or the week or whatever. And you know, people were protesting because the owners of the factories wanted everyone to work all the time, of course. And so someone came up with a slogan for the protest that was like 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of leisure. That's why we know, like, ask for 8 hours of sleep, even though it is a very subjective need. Like, not two people sleep the same amount of hours. However, I do believe that over time, though that simple division by 3 of the days of the hour, of the hours of the day, it has been eroded. Like, who is having 8 hours of leisure? For real, be for real with me. Because when they count the hours of work, they are taking out meal, they are taking out the commute, they are taking out like everything. And then out of the whatever is left of those supposed 8 hours of leisure, you have to work on your own home. You have to keep it clean. You have to take care of maybe your family. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you have like a situation going on that needs your attention. And you know, works or hours of work are non-negotiable. Hours of sleep you can steal from, but they will throw at you. Yeah, but then those promised 8 hours of leisure, they are just gone. They just don't exist. They are theoretical. They are completely eaten up by everything that wasn't in that slogan. It's the thing. Those silent time killers. So I don't know, I just think it's unfair. Capitalism, as usual. But we gotta get, we gotta keep it going. Nobody can fix this world and live in it in the same lifetime. Alright, so let's see. What else? Now that we got like the belts, we go back to the pants. And we have mostly the same shape because the reference I was given for the pants are from an earlier design in which the character was a human. And you know, there were boots, there were different things. But for the Anthro design, that part has changed. There's no boots, the pants just go over the paws. So we can just do one thing, which is this loop over here. Mark it as seen, get rid of this one. Oh, thank you, Aggie. Coming from you, that is high praise, because you always make such great, exaggerated but anatomically correct topology for characters. In all your illustration, all your designs. Alright, I think this works. That is cool. Absolutely right, Dave. This is funny. I heard another theory. You know, the kind of thing that you cannot prove, and the only reason not to believe it is that I don't believe that capitalism is as organized as some people give it credit for. Like the reason we don't have free time is because they don't want us to have to feel like we are having quality in our lives, right? If you are this road with the lack of free time and lack of third places and lack of safety in your life, you are apparently more prone to spend your money on products that you don't need. On luxury is what I mean. And so some people think that the reason we live such shitty lives is so we can be angrier and more desperate to buy our happiness in the form of products. I know, kinda bleak. I am sorry. I am sorry. I will stop with the dystopian speak today. Let's just say we could be way better if some people did what everyone is waiting for them to do, and it's not something they can choose to do. Yeah, no, that happens because the problem with capitalism is, the same problem that is happening in all of the communist parts of the world. Like, seriously, they are supposed to be communism, that they have terrible problems, and the problem is corruption. Is the one at church just can bend the rules to their will, and they do so, and so, we get all of the problems the government system of choice has, and none of the advantages because they just steal them for themselves. But as I said, let's stop with the dystopian speak, at least for today. My brain is too tired to make good statements on the matter right now. And especially is too tired to do so and make a 3D model at the same time. Now let me check this reference again. Pants, they are asymmetrical, but the differences are mostly on the texture and not on the modeling themselves. So we can be okay with this. Now we got us covered with a sword, but that's only in the old design, not the new one. Also the scarf is going out of the bag, but only in one of the drawings, and I don't think it's realistic for it to get out of the collar because the collar is so high. So I think we are going to leave it like so. So only bit of details we need to add is a wristband, and I think we can call this modeling part done, which is good because a short stream is what I probably need the most right now. Hi Scarlett! My tip for getting started with low poly modeling is, until you know what you are doing, don't make a distinction between low poly and normal modeling. Just 3D modeling. And if you work with few polygons because it is easier when you start off, that will be low poly already. Just make sure to start with simple shapes, like the usual. Spend an afternoon or two on making a base, a cap, a chair, all of those silly things. And after you have done that, even in the same week, you can move on to make simple characters. Like make a little froggy or make a small humanoid puppet or something, and then keep scaling up until you get to the amount of detail that you want. Alright, alright. Yeah, I assure you that if low poly is what you want to do, like, you will gravitate towards it very quickly, because it is easier to do hard surface in low poly than in high poly. So, you will really get there quick. Yeah, high poly is the true hard challenge. Like, of course, doing a good low poly model takes some knowledge, but in high poly everything just starts looking like spaghetti and stops being manageable pretty soon when you don't know what you're doing. It's really infuriating. Yeah, start small, and then you can build on top. It's always easier to do that than managing a bigger beast that you know how to tame yet. Okay, how did you deal with rest crunch and stuff when rotating parts? Okay, so there's like several ways, Suna. This here is not perfect, but I got like 3 loops, right? When you got three loops and the middle one is right where the bomb twists, like I do with the elbow really. When you do that, it doesn't wrinkle too much, unless you do very exaggerated turns. In low poly though, if you really want to push for some twist, twisting and some cool poses, you will have to separate the hand from the forearm. It's what I do in Twinkle, because there's like a lot of dancing moves and she does all of this thing with her hands, and it looks even worse when you are using a shader with outline. So yeah, like separating the hand from the wrist over here and just have like more or less hemispheres in both directions overlapping, that will give you the best result. Like in high poly you can like have a complex rig in here and helper bones and all of that, and I don't really know the details, but I know the theory and that can work. But if you don't have the polygons in it for it, that's not an option. So yeah, I'm just like looking at it from different angles, trying to see if there's anything else that I would like to change. I think it should be done. Like, this is micromanaging at this point. There we go. Yeah, those legs are 6-sided. 6 sides are very useful. They work almost as well as 8 sides, and on a lot of situations they are good enough. The arm is also well, it's not a 6-side. It is. I tend to work in 8 sides, but 6 sides works very well too. It gives you a very good low poly feel compared to the 8 sides, but they are not as good when you want to add complex shading, especially if you want to give them extra detail. But they are very good for this kind of thing. It's like especially if the things are not in the center, like if you are working on a tail, you can still make it 6 sides, but only if the vertical line is in the middle. Well, you know what? I think we are done with this part. Like maybe we can tweak a little bit the color. Maybe we can change a little bit the hair too, so it stays within the color. It's gonna be hard because, you know, the hair is so big. We can make it bigger over here, but at the end of the day, the hair is going inside of it. And there's no good way to deal with this without changing like a whole lot of how this works. We can try, but you know. Hey, not bad. I think this is good enough. There we go, there we go. Fluffy polar bear tiger, exactly. Very, very fluffy. Okay, so we got the shapes down. I think we can be proud. Very small stream today, but I think I need to rest to really get rid of this headache. So even if it was just a single hour of stream. Oh? What was that? I saw a notification. I think we will reach a goal. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sunanagi. Seriously. I think so. I saw some scrolling text in here, but I didn't get to read it. I think it must be a follower goal because we didn't get any notification though. Strange. Oh, why didn't we get an alert? We should be getting alerts for this. Well, seriously, thank you, Scarlett. I don't know what went on. I don't know why the notification was lost. Or maybe I was just too busy with it and didn't notice, but it should have sound. Seriously, sorry, Scarlett, and thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Sona. So yeah, I think today we'll be going to read someone. Let's see who's online today. You know what, let's go with Relly. It's been a while since we raided Relly. For now, I will... Let me go to the just chatting for a sec. There we go. Alright. So, thank you everyone for being here. It has been fun. We actually work on this topology pretty quickly, so I am proud of that. Gave me a little bit of energy back to tackle this next week. Today will be... Let me see if I can, because my keyboard going crazy. There we go. Let's go with Ready. Let's say hi, let's have fun. She's drawing today, so let's see what she's drawing. Seriously, thank you everyone, have fun, and see you soon. Bye!